Where in Adelaide is the best place to buy your first home on a small budget, with a deposit as low as $42,000? This episode we're unpacking 3 locations, some of which you might not have even thought about, that could potentially get you into your first home this year in 2025.
Very excited to unpack this list. Before we unpack this, though, I just want to emphasise that this is for an established house on a lower budget. What I mean by that is what a single person could potentially borrow by themselves to buy an established house. We have talked about buying new houses before and buying land and building where there's no stamp duty, first homeowners grants, but those price points are a lot higher, but also not achievable for a first home buyer by themselves, where they would have to buy that property with a partner. Whereas these houses here is what someone could potentially buy as a single person and still afford to live in it based on their income. So we'll unpack those scenarios now. So the first property, Nicola, that I want to talk about is in a suburb called Corralda Park on Anzac Highway in South Australia.
That's not too far from the city.
Which is quite close, relatively close to the city. It's between the city and the beach. So it's a good location. Let's just look at it on a map quickly of where we are. So we have Forestville and Goodwood close by. There's actually a big development happening here at Forestville, which I think is going to improve the area. Nice big supermarket. Being close to that would be definitely beneficial. And then you've got the beach down the road, down there. And then you have the airport close as well. So location close to the city, close to amenities. Price point on this one is at about $390 to $410. Let's have a quick look at the property. Neat. It's in a block of units, 2-bedroom, definitely livable. It's even got a pool. Just watch the strata fees on this one. So you have 2-bedroom, kitchen area, laundry, car park, and the lounge room.
Laundry and bathroom combined.
This one here, $390. So let's just go through, let's unpack this scenario here on what deposit someone would need. So $390 purchase, 95% loan with a government guarantee, loan of $370, $500. Deposit required in South Australia will be $42,000. The reason being is that in South Australia, there is stamp duty on established houses. On this scenario, a single person to borrow $370, assuming no other liabilities, their income would need to be $70,000. So again, income's achievable for a first home buyer to be earning $70,000. Deposit's definitely achievable of $42,000. Getting into the market, having your own house, $390, good area. And the other thing with this, Nicola, it's not going to be your forever house. You could buy this property, live in it for 3-4 years, and you might then decide to keep it and rent this out in the future. And it's always going to be a good rental as well. They're the things that you should be considering. So if you need to get into the market, that's probably something that is an area which you could look into, Corralda Park.
So what's the next area in Adelaide?
So the next property that I'm just going to go through with you, Nicola, is in Keswick. And then we'll go into looking at buying a house as well. So this is another unit. It's a 2-bedroom.
Close to Corralda Park, so a bit closer to the city though.
It is close to the city. So we're talking at Corralda Park, which was down here. A bit close to the city, good little pocket. Again, close to Forestville, which I think is going to be a good area to invest near because of a big development that's happening there at the moment. What I want to point out though on this one, Nicola, it is actually sold.
Just recently,
but that's fine. So we know what they got for it, which is $460. So we can then run the scenario based on a $460,000 purchase price. Very neat living area, tidy. Looks like they've replaced the floorboards, given it a paint job. Bathroom's very tidy. And this could have been someone's renovation. Someone could have bought this, renovated it, and now selling it. So this is what we talked about in a previous episode, where you can buy an older property, renovate it, and add value to it. Bathroom looks quite new. Yeah. So this one here, an area definitely worth looking into is Keswick.
So what would the deposit be in like a single person's income?
So this scenario, we're going to go through, Nicola. So this one here recently sold for $460. So let's go through the numbers of what a first home buyer would require in regards to a deposit and what income they'll need to be earning to be able to buy this property by themselves. $460 purchase, 95% loan, $437,000. Deposit required of $50,000. Again, reason being established houses in South Australia do have stamp duty.
Yep.
So in order to be able to borrow $437,000, a single person with no other debt would need to be earning $85,000. So depending on their situation, they might not be able to buy this property by themselves, and there might be a couple buying that property. But if they are earning $85,000 with no liabilities, no HECS debt, no credit cards, this is something that they could potentially look into. The next one we're going to look into, Nicola, is a house. And it's a suburb called Munno Para, which is north of Adelaide.
Bit further away from the city.
The good thing about the northern suburbs is there is a northern expressway which can get you out there within half an hour. And they're also improving this to be able to go all the way down south. So over the next 5 years, the government's investing a lot of money in this freeway, and it will save people a lot of time to be able to get out there as well. So the northern suburbs, Munno Para, a nice area, a lot of new land divisions in this area, nice big shopping centre, a great place for your first home, and a decent area, but not the best area in Adelaide. So it's a very affordable area. if you want to get a house
In a very affordable area.
in a very affordable area. This one here looks like it's within a new subdivision because there's new properties in the area there. It's listed for 580 to 630, relatively new. Looks like it's a new build, probably 4 or 5 years old. Definitely livable. So let's just run this scenario of buying this property, $600,000 in Munno Para.
Yeah.
So what we have here is loan of 95%, $570,000. Deposit required, $65,000.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to the income, a single person buying this house would probably struggle. Their income would need to be $110,000 to be able to buy that property by themselves. So if they're single, their income needs to be $110,000 with a $65,000 deposit. If there are a couple, I'll probably say around the $70,000 each, you'd be able to achieve the borrowing capacity for this property. So again, it might be a couple buying a house, which is larger, 3-bedroom,
And more affordable.
and more affordable for a couple to be able to buy that house. So there are 3 locations in Adelaide right now which are affordable for a first home buyer to get into,
Yeah.
being apartments, Corralda Park and Keswick, or if you want an established house, you got Munno Para at say $600,000. So it is totally possible for a first home buyer to get into the market in 2025.
So with only 3 to 4 Ks away from the city, and it's not your forever home and an apartment, that's really cheap.
It is, yeah, and achievable.
I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode on Adelaide. If you live in Melbourne or interested in buying a property in Melbourne, make sure to check out our previous episode, our top 3 locations in buying in Melbourne. I'm Nicola Kefalianos. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and we'll see you on the next one.